Spark Place, we have 3 button makers, one small one that can make 1-inch pins and magnets, and 2 large ones for 2¼ inch pins, magnets, and keychains. If you plan to create a file at home, please follow these guidelines. For large pins, magnets, and keychains, create 2 concentric circles. The outer one should be 2 5/8 inches or 67 millimeters, and the inner circle should be 2 1/4 inches or 56 millimeters. For small pins and magnets, the outer circle should be 1 3/8 inch or 35 millimeters, and the inner circle should be 1 inch or 25 millimeters. Your background can go all the way to the edge of the outer circle, but your artwork, letters, or other content should fall within the inner circle. Some people like to add their website, copyright, or other contact information in teeny lettering in the margin between the inner and outer circles. If your program has a path tool for text, place the letter on the outside of the inner circle. If you place it inside the outer circle, it may disappear behind the backing when everything comes together. Save the file as a PDF. Keep it editable if you think you might make changes later. Print on typing bond paper. Do not use heavyweight cardstock. It will be too thick and can jam the button maker. Paper will be covered with Mylar, so your image will be protected and water resistant. If you don't have a printer at home, either email the file to yourself or save it to a flash drive and bring it with you. Come in about 15 minutes before your appointment and use one of the library printers on the first floor to print out your images. You can scan photos with the document scanner and send them to the printer. Ask the information desk if you need help. If you plan to create your file at the library, familiarize yourself with the program you wish to use by watching a tutorial ahead of time. It will help you make the best use of your time slot. The downstairs computers have Word and Paint, and the Spark Place computers have Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. If you create a file at the library, you will need to print it on the first floor. You can also make buttons from old magazines or old books, or print templates and color your images. We have markers and some old books in Spark Place that you can use. Copy the button template from one of the Spark Place flash drives, print it downstairs, and bring it back to color it in. If you want to make a button from a photo, it will need to be scanned and printed. Regular photo paper is too thick. Once your image is ready, it will need to be cut small enough to fit in the button cut die, which will cut it into a perfect circle, the size needed for the button maker. The screws are spaced a little under 4 inches apart, so your paper needs to be no wider than 3 7/8 inches or 100 millimeters wide. Slide the paper between the upper plate and the second plate so you can see your image centered in the circle and push the lever down. Reach under the die and push up on the center cylinder to push the cut circle out of the die. Once your image is cut, you are ready to assemble your button. Gather all of your materials. There are brightly labeled boxes with all of the components you need to make either a button, keychain, or magnet. For the larger size, you will need a button front, your cut image, a circular piece of Mylar, and either a button pin, a keychain back, and a keychain attachment, or a button back and magnet. For the small size, you will also need a button front, your cut image, a circular piece of Mylar, and a button back, which is a little ring-shaped piece of metal and either a pin or a magnet. Make sure when you are setting up your materials that you only have one of each element. Sometimes pieces, especially fronts, will stick together and if put in one of the machines together can jam or even break the machine. If for any reason the machine jams, please ask a Spark Place staff member for help. Rotate the press so the two dies are side by side like this. Place a large button front in the left side of the press with the smooth side up. Then place the image face up on top of the button and place a single piece of mylar over your image. On the right side, place your pin back with the sharp edge facing up and the pin catch facing down. You should see the squiggly side of the wire facing up. Next, rotate the dies clockwise so the front of the pin is under the press. Pull the red handle pressure lever towards you as far as it will go. The front will disappear inside the pressure foot. Now rotate the dies counterclockwise so the back is under the upper die. Pull the lever down, crimping the front and back components together. If you want the pin to be at the top of the button, orient your art and the pin in opposite directions like this. Here the top of the front is to the left and the pin is on the right. To make a keychain, assemble the front just as you would a pin in the left pickup die, front smooth side up, paper, then mylar. The keychain back has a teeny little slot on the edge for the keychain attachment to be added after the button is completely pressed together. Just like the pin, the back should be placed in the right die with the sharp edge facing up, smooth side down. Once assembled, you can slide the square end of the keychain attachment into the little slot. A catch will hold it in place. For magnets, place the metal back on the right smooth side down and press together. After assembling, peel the paper off the magnet and stick it to the back of your button. Both small pins and magnets have a ring-shaped back. Take a look at an assembled pin. The vertical side, when laying flat, has a sharp outer edge. The metal bends inward horizontally, forming a smooth edge and a lip. When assembled properly, the lip will hold the pin in place. Set up the left side just like the big button maker. The front goes smooth side up. Add your paper image, then mylar. On the right, the back goes smooth bend and lip down, sharp edge up. Rotate the die clockwise, press the front, rotate the die counterclockwise, and press the back. To place the pin inside the back ring, make sure the catch is facing in the correct direction and squeeze the arc gently. It should spring back against the inner wall of the backing and be held in place by the lip. Never place pins, magnets, or keychain attachments into the button maker. Remember this rule of thumb: front smooth side up, back smooth side down.